What's up, everyone? Today marks a huge day in the NBA world because free agency is officially underway. And when it comes to the Los Angeles Lakers, the situation couldn't look any better. Honestly, the Lakers are sitting in what might be the absolute best position they could hope for at this moment. The developments we saw yesterday completely changed the landscape for them, especially with some key players suddenly hitting the market. To name stand out big time right now, D'Angelo Russell Sharp and Adri Ayton. These are the guys that Lakers fans and the front office should have their eyes locked on, because landing either one of these players would drastically shift the trajectory of the team's future between the two. I'd say Ayton and Sharp are the absolute priorities. There's another player in the mix, Mo Wagner. But personally, I wouldn't put much stock in him right now. The real game changers are those two, D'Angelo Sharp and Adri Ayton. If I'm in charge of the Lakers offseason, I'm doing everything humanly possible to get at least one of them, if not both. Whether it's negotiating, moving salary around, or leveraging all the assets the team has, this is where every ounce of energy should go. The moment you lock down a player like Ayton or Sharp, you eliminate all those lingering doubts and concerns around the center position for years to come. That spot has been a huge question mark, and having stability there would be a massive relief for the entire roster. Now, with Adri Ayton, there's a little bit of a risk involved. No doubt about that. The question is whether he ends up being a stopgap, someone just trying to prove he deserves a better deal, or if the Lakers end up being the team that invests in him long term. But even if he is that short-term solution, it's still a huge upgrade and buys time to build around the core. The interesting part is that Sharp is reportedly leaning toward the Lakers, and the organization has already made multiple attempts to bring him aboard. Meanwhile, Ayton shares an agent with Luka Doncic, which could play a key role in the talks. Moving forward, there's a lot of buzz. But here's the catch. We might not get any official updates on Ayton until Wednesday, because he first has to clear waivers. So if you don't hear anything about Ayton today, don't panic. Just be patient. The news should come soon enough. The major takeaway here is that if the Lakers manage to bring in these two guys, or even just one, it would solve a huge chunk of their roster problems. Having to legitimate centers is a game changer on its own. It would immediately upgrade the team's interior defense and rebounding, and on offense, they'd have some serious options in the paint. Plus, it completely takes the pressure off the Lakers to make desperate moves elsewhere. You see, there were reports that other teams were trying to take advantage of the Lakers' urgent need for a center, trying to fleece them for maximum value. That desperation isn't nearly as pronounced if the Lakers can lock down one of these big men now. Before we knew about Ayton and Sharp becoming available, there was a lot of talk about players like Clint Capela being the target. I even did a video breaking down how signing someone like Capela would change everything for the Lakers, mainly because it would take away that desperation factor. Suddenly, they wouldn't have to overpay or trade away big assets just to fill the position. They could comfortably roll with Capela as the starter and negotiate trades from a position of strength. But now, with Ayton and Sharp in the mix, the Lakers have even more options. If they sign Ayton and then maybe bring in someone like Capela or Brook Lopez as a backup, they'd have a clear-cut starting center in solid depth. That kind of flexibility means teams trying to get more than fair value from the Lakers probably missed their chance. It's a buyer's market for the Lakers, but only because they are no longer desperate. Another important factor is the sheer abundance of centers on the market. There are way more centers available than teams who actually need them, and that gives the Lakers leverage. Teams that were holding out for bigger returns might now have to reconsider, because there's simply no shortage of options. But this all comes back to patience, something that, frankly, hasn't always been the Lakers' strong suit in recent years. The fan base wants results immediately, and there's a constant pressure to get it done as quickly as possible. I get it, nobody wants to wait around when the team clearly needs help. But patience is absolutely crucial in a market like this. Making a rushed decision or overpaying for a player just to silence the noise could backfire badly. And to give credit where it's due, the Lakers front office has shown much more patience recently compared to earlier periods, when they were more aggressive, sometimes to a fault. This patience allows the team to evaluate all the available options and not settle for less. It also means they can wait for the right pieces that fit the system, the right wings, the right defenders, and the right role players that complement their stars. Speaking of stars, even though there's always chatter about what will happen when LeBron James eventually leaves or when Anthony Davis ages, That shouldn't be the main worry. The Lakers still have Luka Doncic. And if there's any franchise that can attract another star to pair with him, it's definitely the Lakers. There will always be the next guy who wants to compete for championships alongside Luka, especially in a market like Los Angeles. The real challenge isn't finding a center, but finding the right wings, the long, athletic, versatile players who can defend multiple positions and provide that necessary energy round Luka. Centers are abundant. Wings, especially high-quality 3 and D types or lockdown defenders, are much scarcer and much more valuable in today's NBA. Most teams already have their centers locked up, but very few have a surplus of wings with those traits, so the Lakers' off-season focus should clearly be on rounding out their wing depth, building a versatile, athletic roster around their stars. This is where the team can really elevate its ceiling. Now, imagine the Lakers did something drastic, like trading away a first-round pick or multiple assets, just to get Ayton early on, simply because the fan base was screaming for a center. There's always that temptation to make a big splash, especially with all the noise demanding immediate solutions, but if they had gone down that road, only to see Ayton become available for free later, it would look like a major misstep. We saw similar situations in the past where the Lakers overpaid for players that they later realized they could have had without giving up much. It's easy to get caught up in the hype and rush into moves, but this time, the organization seems to be more measured. If the Lakers sign Ayton and maybe also get Sharp, and then mix in some veterans like Capela or Brook Lopez, they'd have a solid rotation with a starting center in depth. That alone takes a huge weight off their shoulders. The rest of the moves then become about complementing this core with wings and shooters. It also opens up trade possibilities, like moving out less productive players or clearing salary to stay flexible during the season. This whole scenario highlights how crucial patience and strategic planning are. The Lakers have been through rough patches where they rushed and paid the price, but now, with the right pieces in place and the right mindset, they're poised to make smarter, more impactful moves. There's also the potential trade involving Dorian Finney-Smith, which adds another layer to this off-season puzzle. Despite Finney-Smith opting out, the Lakers could still explore sign-and-trade options. Houston reportedly has some players like Kem Whitmore and Jock Landale they might be willing to part with to bring in Finney-Smith. This type of move allows the Lakers to maintain salary cap flexibility while upgrading their wing rotation, which again ties back into the importance of versatile, athletic wings. The Lakers could then use their mid-level exception on other signings, without sacrificing too much financial space or roster flexibility. This sign-and-trade scenario could also help clear out non-guaranteed contracts, freeing up even more flexibility to pursue players who better fit the team's long-term vision. Creative roster management like this is exactly what the Lakers need to maximize their assets and remain competitive. It's not just about grabbing the flashiest names, but about building a balanced roster capable of sustained success. In the best-case scenario, the Lakers end up signing Ayton and Sharp, keep their valuable trade assets, and focus on acquiring 2 or 3 wing players who can defend, shoot, and bring energy. This would complement Luka and LeBron perfectly, giving them a roster that can compete at the highest level. Austin Reeves also fits nicely as a reliable third option who offers depth and versatility. The bench becomes more solid and the team's overall flexibility increases, allowing for adjustments mid-season if needed. At the end of the day, while the spotlight often shines on big-name stars, championships are won with complete rosters that have a clear identity and role players who fit the system. The Lakers seem to be heading in that direction, combining star power with smart roster construction and the patience to wait for the right opportunities. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. In the ever-turning wheel of NBA speculation, a single sentence can set the league abuzz, and that's exactly what's happening now. After Giannis Antetokounmpo reportedly made a striking comment when approached about the possibility of joining the Los Angeles Lakers. According to whispers coming from close circles, the Milwaukee Bucks superstar responded simply but powerfully, "I really want to play on that team." While the Greek freak has shown unwavering loyalty to Milwaukee, this unexpected declaration, assuming it holds weight, has ignited a fresh wave of speculation about a potential Hollywood chapter in Giannis' already storied career. The context remains unclear. Was it said in jest, in passing, or in a more serious tone during a private conversation? No one knows for sure, but in today's NBA, Even the smallest verbal cue can spark a firestorm of interest. It's no secret that the Lakers are always on the hunt for generational talent, and pairing Giannis with LeBron James if he stays, or building a new dynasty post-LeBron has long been a fantasy among Lakers fans. Giannis' game, his unmatched athleticism, defense, and relentless drive would fit perfectly under the bright lights of Crypto.com arena. The marketability alone would be monumental, not to mention the title-contending potential such a move would bring. Still, one must tread carefully when interpreting offhand remarks. Giannis has repeatedly expressed his desire to win wherever he is and has deep ties to Milwaukee, both to the team and the community, but NBA history has taught us that dreams have a funny way of becoming reality, especially in an era where player movement is more fluid than ever. Could we be witnessing the earliest signs of a seismic shift in the league? Maybe. Or maybe it's just a whisper, one that will disappear like so many others. But one thing is clear, when Giannis Antetokounmpo says he wants to play for the Lakers, even hypothetically, the entire basketball world listens. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.